road project.
And what, we're using reserves to pay for this, or?
No, we're using, Art Rescue Act funds.
Okay.
It's
That's allowed?
We keep picking at it.
But that's allowed? I thought at some point that was.
Sewer lines are allowed, sewer and water
Okay.
are allowed.
Stormwater is the one that we think of as a utility that's sort of ignored and we can't use it.
Okay. Make a motion to approve the request of Public Works Director to expend funds to replace the collapsed sewer line at 2255 Roberts Cutoff Road.
Second. We have a motion and a second to expend the ARPA money to replace the collapsed sewer main at 2255 Roberts Cutoff Road. Is there any further discussion?
Can you include the amount in there?
What was the total amount?
$69,955.
$69,955. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Gordon. Thank you, sir. Move to item number 12, which is to consider approval of the recommendation from the police chief to install a speed bump at the stop bar located at 2101 Sansom Circle, where Sansom Circle intersects with Yale Street.
First and foremost, this is just an outside-the-box suggestion that I'm bringing to you guys, and if you decide that that's not what you want, I don't want to hurt my feelings at all. This was a collaboration between myself and Councilman Howe. That, if you think of Sansom Circle, the way it comes off of Roberts Cutoff, it intersects almost in a Y with Yale. And what has happened historically is people have stopping at that stop sign. They use it almost like it's a yield sign. The way that intersection is set up and the way the stop sign is, you have to be visible to that intersection to see that they're actually running the stop sign. It's a really difficult intersection to work traffic on because of the visibility. People see you there, they don't run the stop sign. Councilman Houck has repeatedly spoken with me about it, and we bounced a bunch of different ideas, and I thought to myself, it's a stop sign anyway, and so if you placed, instead of just a normal white line that you would have where someone would stop for a stop sign, if you replace that with a speed bump, then it's not really affecting the motoring public that's obeying the law, because they're stopping at the stop sign and then they just roll over the speed bump. I was going through, Lake Worth has put speed bumps around their park, the park
Oh, yes, all the way down
and it really slows traffic down amazingly. We do the bank run that way, and so I drive it regularly, and I noticed people come to almost a complete stop, and I thought to myself, well, that'd be great at a stop sign. It's outside the box. I don't know that they do it, and it's just maybe that will change. People will stop because there's a stop sign there, and the speed bump will remind them they're not going to be able to run over that speed bump quickly without, running over a speed bump. And that was just an outside-the-box solution.
That's those rubber ones that look like they're bolted down.
Yeah.
Right.
I like those because they're not too, the humps that everybody does, I've had cars that just drag going over those.
I thought we were using the asphalt on them.
I'm only presenting, I don't know what the makeup was.
That's what the street superintendent said, and maybe they changed it, I don't know.
In my mind, I had envisioned one of the ones like they have at the park.
Yeah,
that's what
But that's, again...
it has to be significant enough to...
Yeah.
It would be visible, and it's at a stop sign already, so that if you're obeying the traffic law, it's not going to affect you.
That area right there, I live down the street from him, and this morning, I had to stay out there because I'm having some issues with my neighbor and her dogs because the trash is everywhere because those dogs are not maintained, but that's another thing. But the traffic there this morning was ridiculous. I mean, it was coming, like, where are these people coming from? And I know it's the base, but they're, like, just zooming through there.
I communicated with Ed Sperling from the base, wrote them an email and spoke with him in reference to the four-way stop that's going in, and so we have a dialogue. People are utilizing Yale really extensively right now. It's really a lot of traffic, and in this instance, this was one of the homeowners in the neighborhood has brought it up repeatedly, and I presented a plan that I thought, we've never tried this before, maybe this will work. If it doesn't work, we'll go back to the drawing board.
Those in Lake Worth work well.
They do.
That was one of the motivating factors in this.
I mean, if we just blocked off Yale so it couldn't be driven all the way down, I mean, that would stop that.
Well, we would think that the stop signs have really helped, but we've gotten a lot of compliments on that, because my neighbors come to me all the time about everything, and this is the first time.
Yale's the detour.
It is a detour, especially since it's cut off a little bit. It is.
You put a planter in the middle of it, yeah, this can stop it. But the, Yale, there's not a stop sign on the Yale part, right? It's just the Castleberry cutoff.
Right. It's
And that's the one people use for the cut through, because it's the closest,
Yes.
right?
It's the first one they get to.
So,
They're coming
I guess
from.
there's a good reason not to put a stop sign on Yale and let that flow.
Correct. It would be, I think that would be a really awkward intersection, a wide
Because
intersection.
that would sort of be more intuitive to the driver.
What the people that live there are saying is that they're using it as a yield sign, they don't stop, they just come off of Castleberry, or,
But it wouldn't be as necessary to stop if
correct.
the Yale people stopped. Right?
But it is Sampson Circle, right, it's not Castleberry.
Yeah, I keep saying Castleberry, I mean Sampson Circle.
I'll just throw this out there because I'm going to be consistent. I was against them
Yeah.
on Yale, I was against them on Sam Calloway. I don't like them. I know Fort Worth spent a lot of money putting them in, spent a lot more money taking them out.
Oh,
The thing I looked at, driving down there, first of all, the stop sign is not very visible. When you come around that corner, I went up there the other day, Friday, and sat there for about 35 minutes. I counted, there's 28 cars that came through there one time during that period. 28 of them stopped. 4 of them rolled through, and 1 actually ran it. But driving it, and I come through there a lot, as you come around that corner, first of all, it's 30-mile-an-hour zone, and then you hit Yale, and we've made that 25 miles an hour. But as you come around, there's a telephone pole right as you start that first curve at the 21 block. And once you get around that pole, and then you're looking at that intersection, you really can't see that stop sign down there because of the mailbox is blocking. You've got to get almost up to that intersection. If you don't know that road, you're just figuring it's just a curve in the road, and then you get the stop sign right at the last minute. I don't know the speed bump is going to really help anything, because if they don't see or know it's not a stop sign, they're just going to run it anyway, those that do run it. I think, especially the big humps, to me, if you're flying down the road and you hit that, you have a greater chance of probably wrecking out than just running the thing. I think it could be more visible by putting more stuff on the street. I would, even if we're going to put anything, do kind of like what they do at the airport. And I know over on Hazel Avenue, right in front of that shopping center, those little ones like that thump, 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 just something to let you know, and a more visible stop sign up there would be more effective, in my opinion, than I've never been a big proponent of speed bumps, and I'm not proponent of putting one there myself, but I certainly...
I mean, I'm not married to any plan. This was something that, again, Councilman Hawk was pretty adamant that there was an issue there that we needed to resolve.
He just brought up the little rumble strips, like on the freeway. How hard would that be to put up?
You're talking to a policeman.
He was looking at it.
That would be before the stop sign, you'd hit the rumble strip, and that would get your attention.
That way they score that road out there at the airport, you know, when you come up to the toll booth or whatever they call those things.
Yeah.
That thump, 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 let you know that, hey, you gotta stop up here somewhere. But the actual hump, if the problem was they're just gonna keep on going, one, if you don't paint that thing and keep it painted, they don't see it, and then they hit it, and then now you're airborne if you...
Well, I assume we have a sign that says speed bump ahead.
We would have, there would be some signage there. Again, you're not hurting my feelings to turn it down tonight.
This was just something
I know
we had
that something has to happen there, because that is a huge pain in everybody's butt right there, because there is a problem there. I don't know what the solution is,
We
but
can
we need to do
try
something.
a different approach if that's the will of the council.
It
We'll
might be
come
that-
back and let you know how it works.
if you raise that sign up, because, again, I drove it again today, I've driven it in the morning and afternoon.